Door and see if he'll fly home real quick for us. All right, Tango, go home. Why am I not surprised? Hey, Tango, here, tell you what, Dave, step to the side. Tango, look, go home, buddy. Dave, Tango, whatever your name is. Hey, Tango. No, that's. Where are you going? Go home, buddy.
So we should film it.
Tango, go home. All right, ta-da! All right, hang on just a second. Dave, let's back up and start. Oh, my goodness. All right, now bring her back out. So let me start this over. Welcome, lords and ladies. Oh, thank you, Andrew. All right, so now the first bird I intended to start with is sitting right here on my hand. Now, do any of you know what this bird might be? It's a kookaburra, that is right. It's known as an Australian laughing kookaburra, and her name is Sheila. That's funnier than you kids know, by the way. Now, as a kookaburra, she is the largest of the kingfisher species. However, they are very different from most other kingfishers for a few reasons. Now, typically, kingfishers live near water because they eat things like fish. Kookaburras, though, have adapted to a variety of environments by eating things like mice, snakes, lizards, large insects, anything at all that they can catch with their beak and swallow down whole. Now, it's not their eating habits that make them famous, it's their silly laughing call. So my idea is to see if I can get her to laugh and get the attention of everyone down the lane. Maybe they'll come and join us for the program. Now, kookaburras, though, they love noise and excitement. So if I can get her to laugh, you can help encourage her through laughter, cheers, applause, or even doing your own kookaburra impression. So should we give this a try? All right. Here we go. You ready, girl? Give her another hand. We were very fortunate, not because she started laughing, but because she stopped. And so, as you can imagine, my neighbors love me. But you know, I think we can make this more exciting by flying some birds on cue, right, David? So, what do you say? Shall we fly some birds? All right. Now we'll pass her off to Andrew, and you can go ahead and set her in the back. And now the first bird I would like to fly for you, this hails from the southwestern deserts of the United States, and it is known as a Harris hawk. Harris hawks are very unique among raptors in the fact that they're social in the wild. They live in family groups called cast and even hunt as a team. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to our Harris hawk, Tango. Now come on out here, Tango. Welcome, Tango, to the stage. All right. Now, Tango, being a hawk, is a typical raptor. What that means is he has physical features that make him quite a bit different from other predatory birds. You see, something else like the kookaburra, for example, will use its beak to catch its prey. Raptors, though, use their feet. On the end of his toes are claws called talons. These are his weapons. He will use his feet to grab on and hold on to exceptionally large prey. And even though this bird only weighs about 1.5 pounds, he's capable of catching something as large as an 8 or 9 pound jackrabbit for dinner. Now, that's impressive considering his size, but if you were to catch something that large, it would be too heavy to fly away with and certainly too big to swallow whole. So,
right in front of the camera.
Look? Yes. It's an interactive program, by the way. So if he caught something as large as a jackrabbit, he couldn't fly away with it, couldn't swallow it whole. So they have to be able to rip their food into bite-sized pieces. You might get a chance to see his beak. It's hooked and curved downwards, and that beak allows him to rip and tear his food quickly and efficiently, therefore eating mass amounts of food. Just a suggestion. As the birds fly overhead, you might not want to look up and say, wow. Oh, he's trained. He's not housebroken. I think I'm kidding. Just wait. Yeah. But again, the beak lets him eat quickly so he can consume that meal before other creatures steal it from him. Now, their most impressive trait, though, is probably their eyesight. This bird can see at least 4 to 8 times better than you and I can. That means that he could spot his prey from about a mile away. He could even tell what color it was, because raptors do see in color. In fact, we believe a wider range of color than you and I see it, possibly even infrared and ultraviolet lights as well. What are you doing down there? He's not noble on the ground like a chicken. Tortugas perform on this stage later. I wouldn't eat anything off this stage. But again, he does have amazing eyesight and able to spot things like a rabbit from a mile away and tell what color it was. And all these traits let them do one thing amazingly well. Go ahead. Okay, back up here. Tango, back up here. This is going to be a very long show. Right up here. Tango, right here. There. Now, fly to David. But all these traits allow them to do one thing amazingly well, and that is hunt. In the wild, a hawk like this might hunt for prey as large as jackrabbits to creatures as small as mice and lizards. They are found in the desert. It's very brave how you ladies hide behind the child when the bird flies overhead. I shouldn't pick on you. There was a lady yesterday, as a matter of fact, sat on the front row. When the bird flew overhead, she didn't duck. She didn't protect her child. She covered her beer. We all have priorities. But again, raptors for more than 5,000 years have been employed to do just that job of hunting. And you must remember this started long before the invention of items like the rifle. It's not only an efficient means of catching game, but a very sporting one as well. And falconry has even been referred to as the sport of kings. For nobles all over Europe and Asia would host grand hunts to show off their raptors, and only the nobility were allowed to keep the most prestigious of birds. And the most impressive thing is that very little has changed in a 5,000-year time period. We still use the same training techniques of positive reinforcement, or the act of giving the bird a food reward and whenever it does the behavior we desire. We also use the very same equipment, such as the leather glove that protects me from his powerful feet and sharp talons, but also the leather straps on his ankles. They're known as jesses. They work sort of like a leash and collar on a dog, allows us to gain control of our bird should we need to. So let me ask you, what do you think of Tango here? Hasn't he done well? He has done a pretty good job. Now it is time to send him home, and we've been working on a new behavior with him of having him glide from the side perch all the way into his release door. If this works, it looks impressive. So, all right, Tango, why don't you go over to that perch? And if you thought he was flying low earlier, he flies even lower going home. So, all right, Tango, go home, buddy. Up. Go home. Whoa. Give him a hand. That was a nice hang. You'll find it with almost 100% accuracy. That's with his incredible hearing. You might notice he has a dark outline around the edge of his face, and it's known as a facial disc. Did any of you get that picture? You might have a picture of the last thing a mouse sees before it dies. But, again, though, that facial disc is made of sound-sensitive feathers that help to funnel sound into huge ear openings on the side of his head. His hearing is so powerful, he can find that same mouse under 2 feet of grass or snow and catch it without ever seeing it. They have another trait, though, the ability to sneak up on their prey. So listen as he flaps his wings and see what you might hear. Go ahead, Artemis. To the back. To the back, Artemis. To the back. There we are. So, as he flaps his wings, what did you hear? No, I heard some of a child scream, but that's all right. You shouldn't hear anything at all. Owls are capable of almost perfectly silent flight. That's because the edge of their feathers are very soft, so when they flap their wings, there are no loud flapping noises, or when their feathers rub together, there are no rubbing or friction sounds. Have you ever heard things like pigeons or doves take off? All that noise from their feathers rubbing together. Whoa. You know, every time the owl flies over the audience, it looks like the audience does the inverse wave. Oh. I should have warned you, though, with the owl, if you duck, he only flies lower. Right back up here, Artemis. So let me ask you, though, what do you say for Artemis? Isn't he impressive? Well, it is time to send Artemis home. I think we can show off with him as well. I want him to glide from the back perch all the way into his door. So to the back, Artemis. And fair warning, he has to glide across the audience one more time to get here. So here we go. All right, Artemis, are you ready? Whoop. Behind you. All right, Artemis, go home. Artemis, go. Artemis, would you do it maybe for 2 Mises pieces? Look, 2 Mises pieces all the way home. Give him a hand. That was a nice exit. Bird out. I was wondering, do any of you know what the fastest animal on the planet is? Cheetah. This is a bird show. The falcon, that's right. Most specifically, the peregrine falcon. Peregrine falcons have been clocked in dives in excess of 200 miles an hour, making the fastest animal on the planet. And you are in luck. I do have a falcon to fly for everyone. Now, this is not a peregrine, but it is a very special little bird. It is an Aplomado falcon, and her name is Vegas. You can welcome Vegas for me, too. Now, Vegas here, by the way, is only 6 months old. She was born this past spring. Now, she is full grown, not going to get any larger. However, she has muscled up considerably over the past few months. In fact, we've only been free flying her for about 3 months now. But what I want to attempt for everyone is what we call lure flying. This is basically a game of keep away that the falcon always eventually wins. If here in my hand, what we call a lure. It's a fake leather bird, has a food reward attached to it. And Vegas here has been trained to attack this lure just like she would attack prey in the wild. Historically speaking, this is how a falconer would exercise his bird, keep it healthy and ready for the hunt. In our case, though, it allows me to show off some of their speed, agility, and skill. However, flying a falcon on this stage is very difficult to do because the building is so close that I can't fly her safely or efficiently. So what I want to do is to walk to the back of the audience where we have more open air so I can really show her off. Now don't worry, everyone that's seated you can see just fine because the action takes place up in the air. So what do you say? Should we give her a chance to fly? It's always easy for the audience to say yes. If she takes off, you're not the ones that have to play hide and go falcon. It's my least favorite game. So everyone that's standing here in the back, if you could scoot back all the way to about where that white sign is for me. I want a nice big circle here because this bird will fly through here. Some predators, because the birds so far catch and kill their own food. Now the next bird, though, is different because it is a scavenger. Likes to find animals that are already dead. Any guesses?
Vulture! Oh my God! Okay, right. I'm leaving you.
I have a
Bye.
vulture to share with you.
Later.
Now this is the bird, though, that's so famous for running up and down the aisles, looking under the benches for leftover turkey. And as a matter of fact, yesterday at one of our shows, she found a chunk of turkey about halfway down on this side of the audience. Every single show since then, she's gone back to check. So if she comes up close to you, she's not out to get anyone. She's just looking for leftover food. But it is my pleasure to be able to introduce you to our vulture. Ziggy, come on up here, Ziggy. Right up here, girl. There she is. You can welcome Ziggy. Vultures need love. Yes. That was Ziggy here. Is a black vulture. You notice she has a black body, a bald black head, and sort of white fingertips on the end of her wings. And it is indeed the role of a vulture to find dead animals and to eat them. I know that doesn't sound pleasant, but vultures are built for this job. They have features that let them stay clean and healthy like their bald head. You see, hey, Ziggy, where are you going? Ziggy, get back up here. Right up here, Ziggy. Back up here. Now, the bald head serves a very important reason because quite often vultures are known to stick their entire head and neck inside a dead animal. So if they did that, they'd be covered with bacteria and leftover food. The bald head lets it dry up and flake right off, and the sun's ultraviolet rays can kill bacteria that might have been growing there. Not only this, but they have an amazing immune system. This bird can ingest about 100 times the salmonella and botulism, or food poisoning that is, that could potentially kill the average adult human. And their droppings have very little bacteria in them. That means most of that disease that goes in one end doesn't come out the other. So maybe now you understand the ways that they stop the spread of dangerous disease. But also a few other traits. For example, her beak. It's long and skinny. You see how she sticks it inside my hand for the treats? They use that beak to reach the internal organs. That way they don't get nearly as messy when they feed. But also, her feet are different. Her claws are rather dull, and her feet are better made for walking. Ziggy! Hey, Ziggy, where are you going? Get out from under that bench. Ziggy, get out here. Go, no, to the back. You have wings for a reason. Ziggy, back up here. You don't get a treat for running. Go back up here. Yes, master. All right. Well, her feet are weak, and she's so weak in those feet, she can't even... Ziggy! Ziggy, back up here. Come on, up here. All the way. Rush. Up on the perch. There we go. Let's try it from here. All right, Ziggy, fly to the back. There we are. Now, her feet, though, are weak. She's so weak, she can't even grip to pick up something as light as a feather. We assume, though, that vultures, they don't need strength in their feet because their food doesn't run away from them very often. So people tend to look at a vulture and they think, Ziggy, leave that young man alone. He's not dead. He just smells that way. Ziggy, back up here. Shh, Ziggy, back up here, girl. Ziggy, back up here. All the way. Now, people tend to look at a vulture and they think with the walking feet and the weak beak that they can't defend themselves. That's not really true, because if you cornered a vulture and it couldn't run away or fly away, probably wouldn't attack you, wouldn't even try to bite you. Does anyone know what a vulture does to defend itself?
Vomit.
They throw up on you, that's right.
Yep.
Can you imagine, though, what a vulture eats coming back the second time around? Not a pleasant thought. However, if it weren't for scavengers doing their job, disease and bacteria would be spread very easily. So let me ask, what do you say for Ziggy here? Isn't she great? It is time to send her home. Now, we've been trying to get her to fly from the back perch all the way home like the owl did. We've had some success. We're going to give this a shot again. So, to the back, Ziggy. All right, let's see if this will work. You ready, girl? Ziggy, go home. Go home, Ziggy. All the way.
Good
Good job.